I think we're not quite up to live, but we'll get there in a second. It's LucifroN spawning in the eastern side, Anotand in the western side, Chinese versus Mongols, and it is Kawasan. So we're going to see some fishing. We're going to see some action early. Let's go and get a quick fast forward. Maybe not all the way to live, but at least until the first little bit of action comes in. LucifroN, full greed, going for dock on each pond and fishing on each pond. So just full on boom for LucifroN. Spears being made by Anotand, but he's not going to be able to take both these docks down, and LucifroN is going to just have a huge advantage, and we are back to live. So it was not too much of a fast forward. First couple spears starting to move on out, and the question is when is the Vil going to move out? Are we going to see Anotand start to try to match this fishing? 2 fishing boats on the east, 2 fishing boats on the west. Let's switch on over to Anotand. Has only seen the western pond, has not seen the eastern one yet, and that's where 3 fishing boats are now. LucifroN most likely just going to idle out that single pond, go over to the other one, focus his full attention into the east, and that way Anotand might struggle a bit to do so, but look at him. Oh, just caught a glimpse of it. There it is. Realizes there is fishing in the east as well. So going to be able to go for both ponds, actually. Massing up tons and tons of spears. Has that barracks, or has that mill supervised so he can get a ton of food income in. Just relying on the wood as well. Deerstone already going down, though. Is it going to finish before the docks get burnt? I believe it will at least finish. I think the western dock's at least going to get burnt down. The question is, will the east one stay alive? You can already see the eco advantage for LucifroN for the time being, but he has invested into this fishing, and this fishing has a payoff. This fishing has a timing that it needs to pay off. And the dock in the west has been taken down. Well, it's on fire now, about to be taken down. LucifroN already proactively building another dock in the south to be able to account for any sort of denial on the east one, but Anotand, luckily not moving his scout, actually spots out that dock being built as well. Spears already starting to move over there, already has a huge mass up, so we'll be able to torch down that next dock quite quickly. Our light junk could be queued up, could pop out, but it takes 25 seconds, and how long will it take to burn down that dock? Feudal Age is finished, and immediately light junk is queued up, just how I mentioned. Torch is starting to burn. It's going to take a while, though. Light junk, 10 more seconds. Anotand, what he can do is he can split this around. Already is starting to do that, splitting up his spearmen. That way, when the light junk pops out, not going to be able to full take down all of his units. Can only choose one mass or the other. And there it is. Another split comes in. But looks like the dock will just be able to stand up and fine. Anotand not quite up to that feudal age yet, not quite up to where he needs to get to, but has 17 spears. LucifroN, no ability. There it is. Finally gets an archery range down. What's his choice of unit going to be? Is it going to be archers? Is it going to be Mangadai? Who knows? Tried to drop a girl in the wood line, couldn't be replaced, and actually notice a Vil circling around that west side, trying to find a spot to build a dock. Shiv's pulled out for Anotand, wants to make sure that Vil will not be able to drop a dock there in the west. Anotand has docked himself. He has been able to go ahead and start queuing up his own fishing ships. Spears about to spot out the Deerstones, the main TC. A little bit of damage comes there. And it's a couple archers being queued up, but only a few at a time. And those archers are going to struggle to take fights against that big of a mass. Spears getting split on up. The Imperial Academy has been finished for Anotand. No stables yet to counter out some of these archers. But again, look at that archer mass. Look at that Vil mass just trying to go into all of those spears. Immediately gets taken out. Might be the counter unit, but you still need a couple of them to be the counter unit. Anotand very quickly starting to build up his own fishing ships on the west. Not only that, gonna have a junk out just in case any Vil or anything tries to come build a dock there. We'll kind of do this patrol just as Anotand is, or just as LucifroN's doing. Gonna be able to spot out that Vil that's going to attempt to build this dock. The thing is though, for the Chinese, they're gonna be able to build those docks so fast. So let's see. First shot's coming on in. Second shot's coming on in. No reaction and canceled out by Anotand. Dock not able to go up, but the Vil does stay alive. Thought he might bait out the spears, bait out the archer ship to move to the north, start burning this dock, and then drop it himself, but didn't quite have that idea. Archer mass has started to build up a little bit, and the barracks has been dropped for Lucy as well, so going to get some spears in case Anotand has that horseman mass, which obviously you plan on doing yourself. Still only a 3 eco deficit. Deerstone's being moved a little bit. Scout spotting out anything and everything that he can. Spears looks like they've moved back a little bit. Archery range being dropped for Anotand as well. So 1-1-1 versus barracks and archery range. No stables yet for LucifroN, but he is able to double produce out of that archery range. So going to be hard for Anotand to match up that archer number. Maybe going to drop a good old Barbican somewhere and start massing up Chukanu though, that we all know the Chinese love. Horseman, the con goes down. GG's in the chat, everyone. Tons of vision going to be denied. Not only that, there has been a dock that secretly went up for Anotand, and the fact that this gets up fully disrupts the fishing. It fully shuts this down and makes it very hard for LucifroN to hold, but immediately what do you see? Archers being pulled that way, demo ship prepped. There's a sprinkled ship that's in queue, and what's Anotand do? He cancels the sprinkled, gets an archer ship out, and LucifroN full bring his army over to burn down this dock. He knows he needs to stop this. So what's Anotand do? He moves up with his mass. Stepward out though, going down for LucifroN. He's going up to Castle Age yet again. A little bit of kiting coming out, attempting to come out, and immediately gets taken down as LucifroN had that 1-1-1 ship eco. Really quickly though, Anotand makes the move for the northern dock. Military not in position. Military ships not in position. Anotand accidentally queued up a fishing boat. And dock is on fire. Dock looks like it's about to go down. Villager has been pulled for LucifroN to heal up the dock that got put on fire by Anotand. And Stepward out has finished up. Anotand just now hit Song Dynasty though. Drops another archery range. It's going to be Chukanu mass, but LucifroN's castle already. Fish in the middle, getting a little less efficient. As you can see, this one deep sea fish has essentially run out. The other one's getting a little bit closer, and not many more fish in the sea. So all of a sudden, in just a little bit of time, all of these fishing boats going to be a little less efficient, especially when there's only going to really be one deep sea fish left in a second. LucifroN though has the Stepward out, has Lancers in queue, and Lancers fortunately don't go well into spears, but what they do well in is raiding eco if spears aren't there and spears aren't positioned correctly. Couple of horsemen circle around the backside, gonna maybe spot out the prayer tent, maybe spot out some of those imams trying to pop out and grab up some relics. Chukanu's having to fall back. LucifroN moving forward with his main military mass. Anotand about halfway to castle, still continuing to produce some units, mainly Chukanu's. Chukanu's just not going to be able to do enough. Needs to watch out for that archer ship too. And lost a ton of health during that fight. Didn't gain anything as the sprinkled ship's just going to re-heal himself. Anotand needs to pull back. LucifroN kind of cutting off where those reinforcements are going to collapse into. So it might be the time that the fight gets taken for Anotand. And who will it benefit? Chukanu's able to split from the other side, those spears being forced back, archers being fired down upon, and LucifroN having to fall back. Doesn't have any of the armored units, doesn't have any of the scary units here. Was able to get a dock in the north, has naval arrow slits immediately being upgraded on it. Spears chasing out the archers though. Lancer does pass on by. Chukanu's able to fire it down, but just not the efficient fight as most of the spears now have been cleared for Anotand. Still has a huge mass of Chooks though. War Junk has come on in. You can see how the dock's starting to fire down those naval arrow slits. Anotand needs to move up, deal with the dock on his pond first, and then try to push on back. As I mentioned, dock on the opposite side, or fish on the opposite side, getting way less efficient. There's only 1.25 deep sea fish left. Sprinkled ship has popped out. War Junk has popped out. Anotand needs to heal up his fishing his sprinkled ship with his fishing ships. I've seen him do it plenty of times. And still pushing forward with this mass in the middle. Does need a few more spears potentially to deal with the Lancers. Demo ship pops out for either side, and the first demo hits for Lucy, and it's a huge demo. Chukanu able to kite down that Lancer as LucifroN's pushing up with it, and all of a sudden we blink. Anotand has the eco difference. He is back down in the age still, but look at what we have in the southern side during this. He's double built a dock. I don't know why he's going fishing, but he should just try to start denying this food. Dock in the west has been denied as well, and Anotand has a huge military mass. It's naval arrow slits, accidental fishing boat. But naval arrow slits being queued up out of both of these. Mass being pushed forward. Yes, there's men at arms, but now these are quite split up, and look at how quick they're actually going to be taken down by the Chukanu mass, as they have that minimum damage of 1, but they fire 3 times, and just so effective in mass that you see now. Lancers being trickled in, a couple Lancers trying to get to the backside, trying to put some pressure in. A third dock gets built. There's the naval arrow slits on 2 of them. Gonna easily be able to start taking down these fishing ships now that LucifroN invested so much into, and LucifroN still hasn't been able to hold, still hasn't been able to fully stabilize this as he went up to castle earlier. Lancers finally able to start getting a little bit of damage. Anotand will need to get some spears to deal with this as his main mass of Chooks is forward. All the naval arrow slits docks has pushed back the fishing all the way to the other side. There's nothing for LucifroN really to do other than make some explosive junks, as you see. One dock gets blown, second dock. And there it is, archer junks coming out. Not only that, Chukanu's firing down on the docks on the other side. Anotand has pushed back the Lancers away. He has started to produce spears and is just staying in feudal age. But finally, LucifroN waits for himself to have a mass before moving up to the Chooks, before moving up to take this fight. And this was the fight that he needs. Not enough spears here, not enough Chooks here to effectively be able to kite this down. But there is some reinforcements. Is this going to be enough? It is. That is the answer. Just slowly kiting this down. And reinforcements did not come in fast enough for LucifroN. Meanwhile, they did for Anotand. Yet another dock being dropped. Another Lancer on the backside, though. Anotand quickly pulls on back. Chukanu on the front, still kiting this out. There's only 2 more men-at-arms, and it's 3 more docks. Lancer falls. So many kills on either of these sides, but LucifroN is the one who seems like he's bleeding a little more. He's dropped a second town center behind this to try to hold, but he only has 6 military. 6 military against 56. I don't care if Anotand's an H behind. Has no dock on the eastern side. Anotand has held this, and Anotand has pushed this back. I thought it looked so game over with him hitting feudal, but he's just going to keep pushing through this. He's just going to all in. He knows LucifroN has nothing. He's going to do this, and at the same time, go up to castle behind. Spear's able to land some good connection. Chukanu's still able to kite out these Lancers as they're pushing through, as they're idling Vills, and more reinforcements coming in. As you see, Vills getting absolutely shredded. And not only the Vills that were on the food, there's about to be a ton of Vills. And LucifroN, he forfeits. Anotand takes game number 2 off the victor who took the first round of Golden League.